you went there, where did you go?
Oh, so it's a physical school. So it's the one that I attended. It's Oxford Academy, which is in Randburg.
Okay, and then so you did your A levels and O levels there.
Yes.
Okay, and then after that you registered to study at Wits. And then did you get accepted by Wits?
I did.
And what did you do? A BSc? How did you?
So I did a MBBC age. So that's what I did. And then for 6 years. And then December 2020, I then graduated and then shortly went back to the Northwest just to wait for my placement. And then, yeah.
But Wits says that it doesn't know you.
So the thing is, and I have said this from the get-go when this whole drama started, is that the surname that people use in the Lani surname, it's a surname that I obtained in March of 2021. So throughout my life, I was using my mother's surname. And then...
Which is what?
Well, they don't want me to say it, but then...
Who doesn't want you to say it?
So my family just is exhausted of this whole entire drama. So
you're saying that Wits University has got you under a different surname?
Yes.
So I went to Wits University, right? I'm a graduate of Wits University.
Yeah.
And because I'm a graduate of Wits University, I can tell you about Wits University processes. I've got two surnames, Moya and Mangope, right? If I studied at Wits University will have a record of me because they will, whether it's my previous surname or whether it's my post surname. Now, Wits University in itself has said they don't have a record of you being there at all. So is Wits University lying?
Yeah.
Wits University is lying.
Yeah.
We'll talk some more after the break.
Metro FM. Yeah, it's where you want to be.
So this is a 30-second radio ad for Pineapple. Go to pineapple.co.za for 100% insurance, 0% other stuff. Why is it so short? Because we got a special package deal with the station. A mere 30 seconds. I can't even. I mean, just this legal line. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Old Mutual Insure, licensed FSP, a non-life insurer. T's and C's apply. That's half the ad gone. I'm probably going to get cut off before I can even tell you all about the one.
It's the end of the year and you've survived your boss's bad jokes. That alone should earn you a 13th check. So that...
We're still in conversation with Mathew Lani. He still maintains that he did indeed study a medical degree. He completed it. He studied at Wits University. So in the beginning, and this was part of the statements that was released, is that you said that you studied a what at Wits? An M?
In MBCHH.
MBCHH. Okay. Because Wits University said also that you had initially said that you had studied an MBBS degree, in which case Wits does not even offer. So I ask you again, does that mean that Wits University was lying?
So first, I think with that one, they might be referring to the... Because I once saw that, which was a LinkedIn thing. So I know nothing about that one.
And then also, why is it that we've got a Dr. Zingelwa who is allegedly laid a criminal case on you for that you went and you claimed to be Dr. Sanele Zingelwa as well, which is a second-year medical intern at Tembisa Provincial Tertiary Hospital. Do you know Dr. Sanele Zingelwa?
I don't know him personally. I became aware of him during this whole entire thing. And with the Dr. Zingelwa thing, it came up with a video that I did on TikTok about 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, because I've been on TikTok for about 3 years. And I remember that video, somebody was asking me something, but it was in relations to a previous video where I had a ring on, right? And then they were asking me about surname or something like that. And then I said, oh, I'm Zingelwa. I did not say I am Dr. Zingelwa. You understand? So when that, during this whole drama, that video came up. And I guess then people went to, what is this thing called?
But are you Zingelwa?
No. That was
then why
just
did
for
you
a
say
TikTok.
you are?
I mean, like, firstly, it was just for a TikTok thing. It was one time. It was just that,
But why did you claim to be something that you're not?
In terms of
Being
that
Zingelwa,
surname.
yeah.
No, so remember that surname was done in a TikTok video.
Yeah, I know that you did it, but why did you do it? If Lani is your surname, right? Mathew is your name, right? So why did you bring in Zingelwa if you're not Zingelwa?
Oh, okay. So firstly, because that person was asking me a redundant question, right? Because in that message that I was responding to, they had my surnames there. You understand? So
but then that means that you lied.
Yeah, just
so you did lie.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you're looking at where things have unfolded, so you're saying that you got your medical degree. Were you, because usually when you finish your medical degree, you then get posted as a medical student so that you can do now the practical side, right? And it depends where. Where were you posted?
In Johannesburg.
Which hospital?
In Helen Joseph.
You were posted at Helen Joseph Hospital for how long?
2 years.
Did you work at Helen Joseph Hospital for 2 years?
I mean, well, according to the Department of Health, I didn't. So
no. According to you, Matthew,
I did.
you work at the Department of? Did you work at Helen Joseph Hospital? Did you check in every day? Who did you report to?
Well, I don't want to say people's name because now
who was
it's gonna be dragged and all of that.
No, because this is if you were allowed, if the Department of Health is saying that they do not know you, they're saying that they don't know you. You're saying I completed a Wits medical degree and I was also posted, right, to do my practicals. That means that Wits University is literally giving false information and misrepresenting your identity. Hence why my question is, who was the one that you reported to? Because if we know who you reported to, then we know who to direct Wits University as well as the Department of Health to, so that they can say, actually, here's this person. He actually did work at Helen Joseph Hospital and he's been serving so long. So who did you report to at Helen Joseph?
Well, that information, we send it to the Department of Health through our attorneys. So hence, I didn't even want to address this matter publicly.
How long did you work at Helen Joseph?
2 years.
2 years. And in that 2 years, did you see patients? How many patients would you estimate?
Yeah.
Did you administer medicine?
Well, I'm not going to answer that because
if you're a doctor, you see patients. Did you administer? Did you administer medicine? Yes, you did.
Yeah.
You administered medicine. What ailments were you treating?
Various.
Give me examples.
Can be anything from like stabbings, bronchitis, HIV, TB, etc.
You were administering medicine for HIV.
Various elements, yeah.
You were administering medicine for TB.
Yeah.
You were administering medicine for bronchitis. Okay. And you saw 10, 15, 20, how many patients if you had to estimate? With 2 years is a long time, and Helen Joseph is a public hospital. So how many patients were you seeing?
Yeah, like a lot.
So you say you did give them medicine. That where did you get that medicine from? From the actual space, the store. Where did you get the medicine from?
Yeah, from the actual place.
From Helen Joseph Hospital, from the facility. And you would give them and you would diagnose them. You actually diagnose patients. Okay. And then did you do follow-ups, checkups, and the like? Okay. Now, when Helen Joseph apprehends you, why did they apprehend you?
So firstly, in this whole entire drama, there was just one thing that was quite what's the word I'm looking for? Was the lack of communication from my side. You understand? So when I went to Helen Joseph, I own an NGO. Well, we own an NGO with a couple of friends, Greater Than AIDS Africa, right? And in this NGO, we are also on the Gauteng AIDS Committee as well. So we have a funding where we track down patients that have defaulted, right? So if it so happens that we find you are quite ill, we then take you to a hospital. So we have an ambulance that we contracted with at the for the ambulance. So what happened was that on the 27th of October, I wasn't there, but the other team in the organization were there. They took a patient in. He's an unknown patient, right? So then on the 29th of October, what we then did was we got a call from the hospital and then we missed it. Then we subsequently got an SMS from a doctor there to state that we should come fill in a statement of the patient that was brought in earlier on. Then we're like, okay, no problem. We will do that. But we're in the West Rand. So around 8, we went there, myself and a friend of mine. So she's a nurse. She works in the NGO. And she went up because the security said only one person can enter. So she went up, I stood outside. I asked the security, can I use the bathroom? And then he said, sure. go the other side. I went the other side, asked the securities there. Same thing. I went to the bathroom. A different security then stopped me. It's like, no, come here.
Let me just pause this for a second. Mathew, you said that you're a doctor, right?
Yeah.
You worked at Helen Joseph Hospital for 2 years, in which case security, the nurses, the staff, the janitor, the cleaner, the woman that makes tea, the woman that brings in the people that change the sheets, the suppliers, everybody will have a clear knowledge of who you are because doctors are rotated. But if you work at Helen Joseph for 2 years, doctors know you enough, staff knows you enough, correct? So then you did not have to ask and you did not have to be stopped because you say that you are a doctor stationed at Helen Joseph Hospital. How would they turn away a doctor who is known, who's worked there for 2 years, unless they did not know you?
Well, firstly, I don't work there now because I'm doing my concert.
No, you don't know work there now. You work there then.
Yes.
Which means that they knew, and you said you worked for 2 years, right?
Yes.
Which means that staff would know you, which means that security would know you. Why would security turn away a doctor that they know that worked with them for 2 years?
Okay, so firstly, it was the reason that they stopped me was for the allegations of impersonating a doctor. You understand?
But if you're a real doctor, you said to me, you are a real doctor. You were stationed at Helen Joseph Hospital after completing your Wits medical degree. You went to Helen Joseph Hospital. You were stationed there. You even reported to somebody, which means that under Dr. Mathew Lani, your records are there at Helen Joseph Hospital because you're one of the doctors there. So they would not stop you if you are a doctor that is serving there for 2 years. They've got record of you. Unless they do not have record of you, unless you're not a medical doctor, that's when they will stop you. So I ask the question again, why did they stop you if you're a doctor? So why did they arrest you if you're a doctor? Why did they assault you if you're a doctor? Why did I see a video of you with blood on your lips if you are a doctor? If you're a medical doctor that is under Helen Joseph, you were supposed to be protected as somebody that serves and protects the public. But they did not do that to you. So why would they hurt a medical or even arrest a medical doctor?
Well, that's because of the whole entire the department, saying that I stole somebody else's identity and all of that. So when they first approached me, they said somebody wants to speak to you, right? And then I was like, okay, no problem. Who wants to speak to me? They were like, no, somebody will want to speak to you. And they were kind of like, a bit what's the word? Not violent at that time, but very aggressive, right? So when they did that, it was to establish whether the allegations against me were true or not. You understand? And even when I used the Lani surname, I was not, what is this thing? Helen Joseph does not know me by the Lani surname.
Helen Joseph knows you by which surname?
My family surname, which...
So did you tell them?
Yeah, well,
but then Helen Joseph has also said that they've got no record of you serving there.
Well, I don't know. Well, we have had communications with them through the legal team.
Why do you think you were arrested?
I was arrested for the charges that the Department of Health opened.
Why do you think you were arrested? Your perspective.
Yeah.
Why do you think you were arrested?
So firstly, the Department of Health went with what Twitter was going with the Dr. Zingelwa thing. They did not contact me, despite the fact that even in their statement, the Department of Health said when I did the campaign with them, the campaign was of healthcare workers in their facilities. You understand? Last year, I even made a video where we did not even get paid. Well, we will not get paid full. And I made a TikTok video, and the Department of Health saw it and they responded to it. And they told the hospital to address it. The hospital said I must present myself physically to HR. And then the matter was then resolved. So the Zingelwa part was the one that caused all the confusion.
Because you lied about a surname that you were not. Because Zingelwa, you said that it was on TikTok, and then you called somebody, so you lied about Zingelwa.
Yes, but then I did not say I am Dr. Zingelwa. It's like me, if I am TikTok, I'm like, I'm But
then are you Dr. Mathew Lani then?
That's my name, yes.
Are you a doctor? And if why would then a doctor be arrested? It goes back to my question. It does not make sense. And I need you to understand it from an outsider's perspective.
Yeah.
Right. It does not make sense. Never have I heard in South Africa where a doctor that was placed by an institution because they're serving their practicals and they're working their time for 2 years is arrested on site. It doesn't happen. Yet you were arrested on site for alleged impersonation. So unless the doctors Helen Joseph Hospital, the Department of Health, and everybody, the NPA, the National Prosecuting Authority, because they then said that, look, they can't arrest you for lying. The NPA even gave a statement. Unless all of those institutions are absolutely insane or do not know their job, there is no reason for you to be a medical doctor and be authenticated and be authentically a medical doctor and yet be arrested. So that would mean they are all wrong and you're the only one that's right. Is that what we're saying here?
Well, first, I think one thing you need to understand is that we are dealing with the department that when they got the inquiry from the media, they don't contact me to ask me my information. They did not do that. They just went and released a statement. And even on that day that they released a statement, I have even proof of that, the communication between me and the communications department, where I sent them my things. You understand? So even with this whole entire thing, like I said, it was simply on the basis that the department was of the opinion that I was practicing as a Zingelwa, as Dr. Zingelwa, of which that was not the case.
So then did you clarify to them that you're actually not Dr. Zingelwa, you're Dr. Mathew Lani?
I did.
And then when they looked at your medical records, did they find it?
They did, but then they didn't get back to me.
They found your medical records.
Well, I'm not sure because they didn't get back to me. So hence then I did not involved.
So you did not, you get chastised for being a liar or allegedly a liar in public. Because you're saying that it's because you went under the Zingelwa surname. But if they search for Dr. Mathew Lani, they will find your records. Is that what you're saying?
Not Lani.
Who will they find?
My other surname.
Your other surname.
Yes.
So then did you follow up with them? Did you follow up with Wits University and say, Wits, I'm actually Dr. whatever, check your records. Did you follow up with the Gauteng Department of Health or Health Department and say, guys, check it, I'm Dr. this person?
I did. I went physically to Wits when they did that.
And what did they say?
Well, Wits said I must do a police affidavit for them to kind of like retract their statement because they said it's part of personal information.
Do affidavit?
Yes, I did.
And then why did they not retract?
I have no idea. Hence, my lawyer is following it up.
So you don't know why they did not retract. Could it be that they did not retract because actually you do not exist in their documentation or in their records?
Well, I went there with my degree.
You went to Wits with your degree?
Yes.
Or did you obtain a degree from Wits?
No, I went there physically, showed them that, you see, this is my name, this is my surname. The names that were provided to you guys were incorrect. So can we please rectify the matter?
So did you show the very same qualifications to the Gauteng Department of Health?
I sent them my PaySell number, ID number.
And what did they say to you?
Hence, they just said they will look into it and they never got back.
How long ago was that?
So the first communication was on the 9th when this whole entire drama started. And then it was after I got arrested, after I got released, which was that Tuesday. Don't remember the date. And then my attorney then.
So it's October.
Yeah.
It's November, almost the end of November, and you have not followed up with the Department of Health to clarify your name and to clear you of being a medical doctor?
Well, hence we have now sent them letters of demand for defamation. So now
you've sent the Gauteng Department of Health the defamation, a letter of demand for defamation of character.
Yes.
What about the South African Medical Association? Everybody else has been claiming that you do not exist within their systems. The Health Professions Council of South Africa as well. Did you send it to them as well?
Well, with them, I did send them an email when they released the statement. And the lady I spoke to said I must email the person who released the statement. And I did that. Then they just said that they will make correction where necessary. And then that was the last time I've heard from them again.
When we come back, we're in conversation with the South African Medical Association and as well as the Department of Health.
That's my station.
My music.
Metro FM is where you want to be.
Brutal Fruit Spritzer presents the tantalizing sounds of ruby apple. Sense the delicate notes of fruit, spice, and honey being released from bubbles as they sparkle. The zesty infusion of citrus and apple with a hint of grapefruit. This is the first time sparkling sophistication sounds as good as it tastes. Experience liquid luxury with Brutal Fruit Spritzer. Enjoy responsibly. Not for persons under the age of 18.
People are always asking me, how do you create this?
Bring in the Deputy Chairperson of the South African Medical Association, Sizeka Mayewa. Thank you so much, Sizeka, for your time this evening and welcome to Metro FM Talk.
Evening, and your listeners.
Perhaps let's get some clarity here. We've got Mathew Lani. He still insists that he's a medical doctor, that he studied at Wits University, and that they do not have record of him at Wits University because he goes by his maiden surname. However, he has also openly admitted here on this show that he indeed, whilst he was serving, and I'm saying serving in inverted commas, at Helen Joseph. So Sizeka said that he's given diagnosis, he's seen patients, he has administered medicine. Now, from what I understand, when the NPA actually released a statement on as to why is it that they cannot charge Mathew Lani, part of it was that they don't have actual evidence or proof that he saw patients. Another part of it, that they don't have evidence that he actually administered medicine. But he has just said in his own terms that he did see patients as Mathew Lani and he did administer medicine. Under these circumstances, as a South African Medical Association, how do you respond?
Thanks very much for giving us this opportunity to respond to this unusual occurrence. Actually, as some, we're very disappointed in the system because there are certain ways that you verify whether this person is a doctor or not. There's no way you can go into the hospital and then you start writing in patients' files or seeing patients' files or writing medication, because there are certain requirements that a pharmacist must actually dispense my medication. Like you'll have your MP number. My MP number is 0561878. You can go into the iRegister from HPCSA. You can punch that number. My name will pop up. And then they'll tell you what qualifications do I have, where did I qualify, when did I qualify. So I don't think Helen Joseph is so ignorant that they can even give a person a personal number. I heard him talking about a personal number. It doesn't work that way. Helen Joseph will need all the certificates, registration with SPCSA, all those things, all those documentation from human resource. Even myself, like this for such a long time. When I have to go and work at Helen Joseph, they'll still require those documents. So there's no way you can go to Helen Joseph, see patients, write in patients' files, and then from there they go to pharmacy to dispense your script. It doesn't work that way.
So do you have a patient? Do you have your number, Mathew? Your doctor. So Sizeka, give us your number again.
It's MP 056 1878.
And if I punch that in, I'll be able to see all your records that pertain to you, as well as your medical degree and also and where you're saying. Okay, so
everything, even my address, everything will be there.
And what do they call that? It's like your doctor number. It's like your employee number, basically.
Yeah, medical practitioner number.
So what?
You are given to it by the Health Professions Council of South Africa. That's why you go into the iRegister, information register from HPCSA. You just Google iRegister. They'll ask you what do you want? Do you want to search me by my surname, or do you want to search me by my MP number? The MP number becomes easier.
All right, Mathew, what's your MP number?
I'm not gonna
do you have an MP number?
Yeah, I do.
But you see, if you gave your MP number, this entire matter could be put to bed.
No, I know that. The reason why I don't want to give it is because, firstly, my ID was leaked on social media. There have been attempts for that. Also, I just feel as though, yes, in as much as an MP number is there in the public domain, but then it also puts you as a medical doctor in a position where people can take your name, MP number, go open their own surgeries and use it.
Well, he's the deputy chairperson of the South African Medical Association, and he's giving his MP number on air, knowing very well that people won't be able to take his MP number. So I'm asking you again, what's your MP number?
I mean, they're not going to do with him, but they're going to do it with me.
But what is your name, MP number then?
I'm not going to give it.
Okay. And then you said also that you had written to the Department of Health and you'd sent them an affidavit as well as the records that indeed you did go to Wits University under a different surname, your maiden surname, and that's the clarification that you got qualifications and you sent it, and you sent an affidavit to the Department of Health. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you're still waiting for a response, and that you clarified it by sending that affidavit to the Department of Health. Let me bring into this conversation Foster Mohali from the Department of Health. Foster, very good evening to you. Always a pleasure speaking to you, and welcome to Metro FM Talk.
Good evening to you, Faith, and good evening to your listeners, and thanks for this opportunity.
Mathew Lani says that he signed an affidavit. He clarified that he was using a different surname, and he's given all of his records and submitted it to the department, the Gauteng Department of Health, to clarify this confusion, according to him, of his doctoral qualification. So my first question then to you as the Gauteng Department of Health, do you have record, Foster, with the National Department, do you have record of Mathew Lani or Mathew and the maiden surnames affidavit? Do you have that from the lawyers? Do you have that as a communication? Did the legal team communicate with you in any way or communicate with the Department of Health?
Look, firstly, I'm very disappointed by this the participation of Dr. or let me call him Mr. Lani, Mr. Mathew, because the Dr. Chief I cannot confirm it. But because now you are asking him very simple question, just like any other doctor, any legitimate doctor can proudly tell them that they are qualified, their practice number. And that practice number, you can find it at any GP or any doctor, because that's not supposed to be a secret document. I'm very disappointed that he's not able to provide that number. So I don't know whether this interview is really benefiting your audience or not. But with regards to him writing to the department, of course, I'm speaking for the National Department of Health. But what is surprising is that when you apply for a job in government or in private sector, the employer, prospective employer, they don't necessarily need, even if you certify your qualification, they still do what they call a background check, a qualification, a verification with the institution where you studied. It doesn't matter whether he gives us the legal document or affidavit to prove that this doctor. We were able to do ourselves through the institution which he claims to have studied. So if the institution says this student or candidate is not qualified from our institution, there's no need for him to justify, because we're able to do our own qualification check. So whether he gives us the legal documents or affidavit, we don't need affidavit from him. We're able to do our own qualification verification. So for now, I cannot confirm whether he shared with us or not. But as far as I know, based on the media reports, that he is not qualified from VET. So why can't he write VET instead of writing us?
But you see, the difficult part about this, Foster, as well, is that it can't be coming from the media. Media, as we know, does not always, and I'm saying this because I am a media practitioner as well, right? And I also have to hold us accountable. We cannot always rely on media. That's why we need to do our own research as well, because sometimes media can get it wrong, and sometimes media can get it wrong, and it's too late. A person's reputation has been tarnished. So when you did your own investigations at the Department of Health, does Mathew or Dr. Mathew Lani, or Mathew and his maiden surname, does it exist in his qualifications? Did you find any record that he went to Wits University? Did you find any record that he did a medical degree? Did you find any record that indeed he was stationed at Helen Joseph? Because he's just gone on air, Foster, to say that he saw patients at Helen Joseph Hospital. According to him, he says he saw patients. He says that he even administered medicine at Helen Joseph Hospital. Now, if he's a real medical doctor, then we owe this young man a deep apology. But if he's not a real medical doctor, then he's confessed to actually administering medicine. And if he's not a real doctor, that means that he's further incriminated people and potentially put people's lives at risk. That I'm no lawyer, but that for me sounds like immediate jail time. You can't administer medicine and not be a doctor.
Yeah, no, maybe let me try to dismiss this assertion that yes, we can confirm that just like any other stakeholder, a patient, a family member who visit our hospitals or clinics, we can confirm that he once set his foot in our health facility, but we can confirm that he has never even attended to a patient. That is a lie. He has never seen a patient, so he must be able to. That's why we open a case against him. The Department of Health and Housing opened a case against him. The trainee doctor who was based in Tendy Hospital also opened a case against him. So why can't we challenge those cases?
Are you going to challenge those cases, Mathew?
Well, I appeared in court, like everybody knows. The matter was withdrawn. MPA said that they will do further investigation. The further investigation was them looking into my phone. They came, they searched my house, found nothing. They got my name tag and my name badge. They returned it a few days later. So yeah, that's that.
Yeah.
And then we will, of course, challenge it in, like I said, in a civil case against the department.
We'll get into more matters after this.
We get the lady there. And then when
Of course, Mathew Lani is also joining us in the studio. So, Foster, you maintain as the Department of Health that there is no ways that he could have practiced or seen patients at Helen Joseph Hospital, correct?
Yes, the reason why he was acquitted is because there was no enough evidence that he has seen the patient. If we had enough evidence that really managed to, through his tactics, see the patient, I don't think he was going to be acquitted. So I don't think, I call him unregistered and unqualified doctor.
Just to rebuttal on this one, currently right now, we cannot say that South Africa is not facing a space where we don't have false doctors. I think the last time we were sitting at about 144 or so doctors that were people that were pretending to be doctors that were arrested, right? Because of impersonation. So it is happening. It's not something that is not happening within the South African context. It is happening. That's why the number, I think, was sitting at about 144 arrests because of people who impersonate being doctors. It is happening. It is real. Could it not be that he managed to slip through the system? Because Mathew, you saw doctors, according to you, right? You saw patients, according to you, right? Yes, you administered medicine, according to you, right? We know that we've got a problem with people pretending to be doctors. They go into the system. We've seen arrests as a result. Could it not be, Foster, that he, as he's confessed, he said he's seen patients, that he slipped through the cracks, that in a public healthcare system where we really are relying on doctors, we really do, we want doctors, that he could have slipped through the cracks undetected, that the reason why he was detected is because he kept doing TikToks?
Faith, let me tell you something how it works. It's just like there at Metro FM. No, I cannot come and claim to be a presenter and join your team to know others. So obviously you are working as a team. You know each other. Whenever there's a new member of the team, the clinical manager or the one who's in charge will have to first introduce the new member of the team to say, this is Foster Mhali, is going to be your co-presenter, Faith, from now on. So there's no way that he can just walk into the hospital, start attending to the patients without being formally introduced by those who are in charge.
Got you. Let me take Dr. Makale in Pretoria. We'll take your calls as well. Dr. Makale, hi.
Hi, Faith, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks. And you, Doc. Go ahead.
Yeah, Lebo, thank you for an opportunity. Dumelang Kaofela from the Department of Health and from the South African Medical Association.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Hello, Mathew.
Hi.
Yeah, no, Wale Makale, a practicing doctor at the Department of Health under Gauteng, and I have a few questions if you do not mind, because I want. To share light on the things that you've mentioned before this call. pancreatic cancer, and me asking about the rotations that you do on your first year. I mean, I've done my first year, second year internship not 5 years ago. So as a doctor, it's something that you will say, first year, internal medicine, pediatrics, gynecology, and general surgery. And in the second year, you have other rotations. Remember, internship is training. So first year, second year, before you become a medical practitioner. So another question can I ask is this, Dr. Mathew, what 2 letters, just like your ID number, remember ID number ends with 083, 084, 087, 086, right? That is standard for all citizens. Now, as your practice number, what are the letters that start with your practice number? Before the number, because the numbers are different from everyone, but the first 2 letters are the same. What are the 2 letters?
Of your practice number.
Of your practice number.
What are yours? Let's start with you, Dr. Makale. What are your first 2 letters of your practice number?
It's MP.
Okay. Mathew?
Well, when you're an intern, it's IN.
Okay. And yours is?
It's MP.
Okay. So how many digits are there?
Digit into way?
No, how many digits? Like 20 is 2 digits. So how many digits is your MP number?
Like, I'm not going to answer this honestly speaking.
Okay. Any other questions, Dr. Makale?
No, I'm just trying to prove to him that whatever that is going on, I'm not going to diagnose on the phone or via, because I'm not authorized to give a diagnosis via, social media. But there's a whole lot of grandiose delusions that is going on, and he needs help, and I feel we should, forgive him and understand where he's coming from. He probably, had a dream of becoming a doctor, but he shouldn't lie, because remember, when he starts lying and keeping people online, the health of the people are jeopardized. Me as a medical doctor, when a patient asks me medical health-related questions, I tell them I am not authorized to give medical health care services over the phone. And South Africa does not cover telemedicine. I mean, I have the gentleman from Pharma will tell you our telemedicine, which is e-health, is not really supported in South Africa. So he's been giving medical advices over the phone, which is also illegal. You understand? You don't need to treat a patient for you to be illegally doing it as a false doctor, but also saying anything that will contribute to the healthcare is also wrong, because that is part of the healthcare services as well, called telemedicine or e-health.
Yeah, Dr.
So
Makale,
I believe,
that it's deeper, it's more psychosocial or psychological and neurological.
Yeah,
perhaps,
it's psychiatric. It's psychiatric, right? It's more psychiatric, because when you talk of grandiose delusions, it's one of the signs of long-standing untreated cases. So I forgive him, and I believe that everyone should forgive him, and we should just stop dancing to his music. That's it.
Yeah, look, more than anything else, you have to be able to give all sides, right? It doesn't help to give one side of the story. So I'm glad that we've got doctors that are on this conversation. We've got the South African Medical Association on this conversation, because the truth is, it is happening. There are people that are posing as doctors. That's why we've got the arrest. It is happening, and more often than not. And a lot of them are slipping through. Some of them are even practicing for 5 years before we catch them. It is happening. So how do you make sure that it does not happen again? That becomes a big question, because clearly for it to be happening, it means that we're getting our systems incorrect. There's something wrong with our systems that allows this to happen. Do you still sell medicine? Do you sell medicine, actually, just as a question? Do you sell medicine? No.
It's supplements, herbal supplements.
Herbal supplements. And do you still diagnose people?
In terms of what? In terms of the business, or
do people still say, "Hi, Dr. Mathew, can you please help me with such and such an issue?" And then you say, "Fine, I will help you," whether it's to administer pills, whether it's to give information, whether it's to give advice. Do you still do that?
Of course not. And I've never had one-on-one consultations with people in my private time. I think that's something that everybody is also not understanding. And even on TikTok, you say it's medical advice. Well, firstly, on TikTok, I talk about HIV and AIDS, you understand? And majority of the information there is generic information. So yeah, and even with our supplements, you don't need a consultation to get it or anything like that.
Do you still work at a hospital?
Well, I took time off because of.
Will you go back to work at a hospital? Will you go back to Helen Joseph?
I mean, well, firstly, at Helen Joseph, I was there for the NGO. So throughout.
No, you said that you were working there for 2 years. So are you going to go back to Helen Joseph?
No, I'm done and dusted.
Okay, so are you going to go and work at a public health facility?
I will see, because I'm quite traumatized with everything that has happened.
Could it be, as I close this conversation, and is there any possibility in your understanding, right, that everything that you have created, or everything that you have, or your belief that you're a medical doctor, that though you've got the belief that you are a medical doctor, that you actually may not be? Is there any part of you that says, I may believe I'm a medical doctor, but the reality may present something different? Is there any scenario, or have you played any scenario like this, that I truly believe I am a medical doctor, but reality says, the medical association says, the Department of Health says, Helen Joseph says that I am not? Have you ever thought about that?
No, there was no need for me to think about it. And I think people expect me to go out campaigning in public with my degrees and everything like that. We have sent the departments and the relevant parties, what's this thing, letter of demands, and then we'll see them in court. So for me, in terms of public opinion, couldn't be bothered.
Mathew, I do thank you for your time, and I thank you more than anything else for genuinely speaking your version and believing what you believe in. But I would implore that if there is any way at all that you would give an alternative reality, consider it. Actually, would you actually do therapy? Would you ever consider going for therapy?
I mean, well, I am going through therapy because of everything that has been happening. Yeah.
With the trained psychiatrist?
Yeah.
And if we had to, for example, through our context, and I'm sure with our relationship with the South African Medical Association, also bring forward a psychiatrist who will be willing to walk this journey, because as you were saying that you're traumatized, right? And you're absolutely right, you were traumatized because I saw that you were apprehended, right? So would you be willing to, let's say, if we had to get somebody also, just a psychiatrist, not on you, on us, just to take you through the journey that you were in, would you do it?
I don't think it's necessary, because I already have a relationship with my psychiatrist and psychologist. So yeah, but then I mean, if it would satisfy you guys, sure.
Would you see somebody that we? Okay, Sizega, before I wrap up, I know that I'm putting you on the spot here as the South African Medical Association, but would you do us the biggest of favors that we could recommend a psychiatrist and maybe set up, even if it's one session with Mathew, and he can unpack some of the feelings, thoughts, and everything that is going in his head, because there is a lot. Would you do us that?
Yes, I actually agree to that. We'll do it for you, because we are actually the guardian of the profession. It actually means a lot to someone not to have bogus doctors going around pretending to be one. We were just a bit disappointed by the NPA, even though they've clarified that there were no evidence. But there is an act, as Professions Act, Section 40 of 2007, I mean, which says that if you are actually guilty to impersonate yourself and then give yourself titles which don't belong to you. And then the other issue that maybe I wanted to clarify before I go off is the administering of medicine in a hospital setup. A doctor in a hospital setup, the only time I will administer medicine is in the emergency situation. In any other form, any medication that has to be given in the ward, if the patient is admitted, or if I had to discharge the patient after seeing him OPD, it's actually dispensed by a pharmacist for OPD purposes. In the ward, it's given by a nurse. Not anywhere else can a doctor say, I'm administering medicine, except in an emergency setup.
So then, I definitely, as I said, there's so much to unpack. But I've asked Mathew, would he be willing to see a psychiatrist, right? An actual professional psychiatrist who can help him unpack his thoughts, feelings, beliefs, qualifications, everything. And I'm asking you as well, would you be able to facilitate that process for us?
Yes.
And if it means, Sizeka, that you pick him up from home, take him there so that he doesn't have to worry about, pick him up from home, take him to the therapy, bring him back again safely, would you do that?
Yeah, anyway, yes, we can, but I still have to actually consult with my association.
That's
to
fine.
say that, and that after this interview, this is what Metro is asking us to do. How feasible is it? And then we'll come back to you. As long as you can give us your contact details, we are willing. Like I said, Pharma is there to actually start the profession.
And Mathew,
we are willing to assist this young man who needs really serious assistance.
Okay, but so even if he doesn't believe he needs assistance, but you've said to me you will commit to doing it, even if it's one session, will you? Is that okay?
Definitely will do.
Mathew?
Yeah, sure. So that see it, get a letter. So when I sue the department,
then at least you've seen a do you know what I'm saying? Would you see, and they will make sure that you brought home, they'll pick you up, they'll bring you home. Is that okay?
That's not necessary, but that's fine.
Okay. No, I don't want you to stress about it. I want them to be able to do it as well.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Good. 9 minutes after 8 o'clock.
Johannesburg. Coming at your stereo. 96.